The fourth type of formation of agency, that is by necessity. Necessity maknanya keperluan, because of emergency. So here maknanya basically this type of agency is that it happen where the agent who has no authority to do certain act ataupun dia acted beyond authority, tak ada kuasa tapi dia buat. But this was done due to necessity or emergency situation. So the agent needs to do such act to protect the interest of the principal. Maknanya to protect the principal from suffering further or greater loss. So this is the meaning of agency by necessity. In terms of the clue, maybe you boleh faham macam sama dengan ratification, without authority juga ataupun beyond authority. But the difference is that dalam situasi agency by necessity ni dia mesti ada cerita pasal something emergency happen, something which is unexpected, something which is beyond the control of the agent, tapi dia terpaksa buat something in order to protect the interest, kepentingan. Interest maksudnya kat sini kepentingan of the principal. So that is the meaning of agency by necessity. This is by virtue of section 142. Now, how it may happen? Normally in two situations. One is that, again, relationship of husband and wife. Tapi the difference is that at this time, the wife is being deserted and has no means of support. Maknanya kat sini, in the situation where the wife ditinggalkan for a long time without any maintenance, without any supply of food and so on. By emergency, the wife had to make contract in the name of the husband. Kalau yang agency imply husband and wife, that one, the husband is around ataupun the husband dah provide everything sufficient for the wife. Itu imply agency yang cerita tadi Nizam dengan Nana tu. But this one, without means of support. That is the first situation. Second situation, which is always come out in your question, when an agent is entrusted. Entrusted here means diamanahkan with a principal's property. And then emergency happen. Then because of the emergency, the agent had to do something beyond his authority to protect the interest of the principal. Nak jaga kepentingan principal. The illustration, you can read from this illustration B, and you can read from the case of Great Northern Railway. I also explain dalam video ni juga.
This is Johari, a durian seller from Segamat. He authorized Raju, a lorry driver, to deliver a consignment of durian from Segamat to Pulau Pinang. Raju then started his journey to deliver the durian to Pulau Pinang. Unfortunately, on his way to Pulau Pinang, he was then stranded at Perak due to flood and all routes were closed for all vehicles. Consequently, most of the durians were started to wither and got cracks. Due to that, Raju thought that the durians will not be accepted by the buyer in Pulau Pinang, and this will cause loss to his principal, Johari. Therefore, due to emergency, Raju decided to sell the durians to Ahyi, the local fruit seller in Perak. This is necessary to protect the interest of the principal from suffering greater loss. If he just waited and delivered the rotten durians to Pulau Pinang, definitely the principal will get nothing because the durians will be rejected and not saleable.
In the first place, the authority which was being given to Raju is that he only has the authority to deliver the durian to Pulau Pinang. That's the main authority which was given by the principal. But what happened because of the emergency situation here? Dia tak boleh continue with the journey ataupun travel to Pulau Pinang from Johor kan sampai kat Perak, banjir. So because of this emergency situation, and then the durians mula rosak lah kan with the cracks and so on. Right, so he has nak terpaksa lah sell the durian to the fruit seller in Perak, right? To protect the interest of the principal rather than the principal suffer loss, will receive nothing from the buyer in Pulau Pinang. So better that he sell it walaupun under market value to the third party, Ahyi, because of that emergency situation. So that is the meaning of agency by emergency. But still, there are conditions to be fulfilled in order to see whether the agent is a valid agent by necessity or not. First, there must be a real and actual emergency. So meaning that when you look at the question, you kena tengok what is the real emergency there? What is the actual emergency? So macam tadi from the illustration, because of the flood, and then the durian started to rotten and so on. So that is real and actual emergency. And then the agent was the one being entrusted, yang diamanahkan. So Raju was the one being given the authority, being entrusted to deliver the durian to Pulau Pinang. So only this person, the agent, can act as an agent by emergency. No other person, third party, orang luar tak boleh become an agent by emergency. Third, it is impossible for the agent to get the principal's instruction during the emergency. Maybe because of the flood, maybe because of the situation, the weather condition, maybe phone pun dah malfunction, dah tak ada battery and so on. Dia tak boleh contact with the principal. So, it is impossible for the agent to contact the principal instruction. Ataupun maybe in the situation where the agent managed to contact the principal tapi cannot get through. Principal not around, tak pick up the phone and so on. So it is impossible. In this situation, the agent may act as an agent by emergency. So what happened dalam case Springer versus Great Western Railway, the agent failed to communicate, did not put an effort to contact, to communicate with the principal, to get the principal instruction. So that's why what happened in this case, the agent was not a valid agent by emergency. Bacalah nanti Okay, and then the last one, the agent had acted in good faith. Suci hati. Good faith here, it means that what was done by the agent is something which is reasonable. Maybe any other person who were in the same shoes, in the same situation would do the same thing, right, to protect the interest of the principal. So that is considered as acting in good faith. So there are 4 conditions to be met, right? So if all the conditions were met, in that case, the agent is a valid agent by emergency. So therefore, there is a contract agency by emergency. So the effect is that agent cannot be sued by the principal. Normally dalam soalan, principal not satisfied because agent sold the property, the goods to another person, not to the actual destination ataupun the actual buyer. So in that case, dia nak sue the agent. So here the effect is that the agent cannot be sued. Kalau agent is a valid agent by necessity, fulfill all the 4 conditions tadi. And then the agent entitled to additional payment for his effort, extra commission. And then the third one, a contract binding between the principal and the third party. Maknanya Johari dengan siapa tadi? Ayi, alright? That is a binding contract. Okay, so those are the effects of agency by necessity or emergency. So for the summary, first you need to know what is an agent by emergency. Agent acted with the authority due to emergency. Ni yang penting. Due to emergency or necessity to protect the interest of the principal. And then there are 4 valid conditions to be met. And then the effect is that kalau fulfill all the 4 conditions, in that case, these are the effects. Agent cannot be sued, agent entitled to extra commission, and principal are bound to the contract with the third party. Sample of answer scheme for agency by emergency. Okay, kalau contoh soalan ni. Arif work as a caretaker for an engineering firm. Maknanya dia dah being entrusted, right, to look after the firm. He lived on the 2nd level of the office. One day fire broke out, destroying the 3rd level of the office. Macam dah ada emergency kat sini. It was impossible for Arif to communicate the situation to any of the partners as they were in Europe. Cannot communicate with the principal. So he instructed a renovation contractor to do some necessary work in order to prevent further destruction to the building. So maknanya kat sini, because of the emergency situation, fire broke out destroying the 3rd level, maybe dangerous to the building as a whole. So with the authority, he instructed a renovation contractor. So this is because to prevent further destruction to the building, to protect the interest of the principal. So the contractor now claim the cost of the work from him. So kita nak tengok lah, siapa yang liable to the contract? Is it Arif or is it the partners for the firm? So issue here, whether there is formation of agency by necessity or emergency between Arif and the partners. Whether Arif is a valid agent by necessity, tadi apa? Actual emergency ada, communicate ada, dia cuba try to communicate, and what is done is good faith, reasonable to protect the firm. Semua tu kalau dia fulfill all the four tu, in that case Arif is a valid agent. So ni kita nak tengok lah whether dia valid ke tak, dia fulfill or not. Whether the partners, they are bound to the contract to pay the renovator due to the agency by necessity. So these are the issues. The law, bagilah semua ni. Right? So maknanya kalau law ni, all the section, all the cases must be explained detail. Explain the case completely. Semua kalau ada 4 conditions, explain, all the effects explain. Dalam 4 conditions ada cases also, you must explain everything in detail. Dekat application, selesaikan. Solve the problem, applying the relevant law. Baca nanti application ni sebagai contoh ya. And then the conclusion. This time I give you the example of the conclusion. Conclusion ni maknanya summary of the law. Nothing to do about the question anymore. Tak adalah sebut siapa Arif ke siapa ke. Kat sini you just give the law. You sum up the law. 3 sentences maybe would sufficient. Okay, agency by emergency may happen when someone who is entrusted with the property of another face an emergency situation. Due to that, he had to do something beyond his authority to protect the interest of the principal. Therefore, if all conditions of valid agent by emergency satisfied, principal is bound to the contract with the third party by way of agency by emergency under section 142. Ini contoh conclusion. Tak ada dah sebut nama Arif ke, principal, third party and so on. Nama-nama siapa tu. Okay. Ini summary of the law. Another example of questions yang selalu keluar macam ni lah contohnya. Nak hantar fresh milk, perishable goods sampai sana tak boleh masuk Thailand as there was a ban imposed by the Thailand authorities on dairy products from Malaysia due to outbreak of the foot and mouth disease. So this is emergency. So tiba dijual pula pada orang lain. The company unhappy. So boleh tak dia sue? Jadi you want to see whether the agent tu is a valid agent or not by necessity. Yang ini pula massive accident cause all roads to Perlis to be closed. The conditions of the fruits would turn bad due to the delay. Ni pun sama perishable goods juga. Right? Agency by emergency. What is important for you to know? What is the agency by emergency, valid condition and the effects.